Raise your hand. Hi Facebook, sorry we're a little late. We had just a little bit of technical difficulty connecting this morning. I'm Stephanie Weaver. I'm the author of the Recipe Renovator blog and the upcoming migraine relief plan, which will be out in February. And today I'm going to be making curried chicken salad. So a few minutes ago I turned on the stove to preheat a nonstick pan or skillet, and I'm going to be toasting up some sunflower seeds. Now you'll find this recipe for curried chicken salad on recipierenovator.com. And today I'm going to make a migraine-friendly version because that's kind of what I'm all about. I'm all about making delicious food that's also migraine-friendly. So I'm going to be toasting some sunflower seeds. The recipe on my blog can call for things like pecans or walnuts, whatever you want. But nuts can be a big migraine trigger, so we're going to avoid them today, and we're going to be toasting up those sunflower seeds to make them bring out the nutty flavor in them. And then I'm going to be making an egg-free version using just mayo. So one of the things that's an issue for people who get migraine is that it turns out that they have a higher rate of food sensitivities. And it turned out for me that I was sensitive to both eggs and dairy, which I didn't know, because I didn't have a strong allergy. I just had a strong or latent allergy or delayed sensitivity, which I learned about through some testing through a functional medicine practice. So Just Mayo is a national brand. You can find it at Whole Foods. It's an egg-free, so it's a vegan, but it's also doesn't have a lot of junk in it, and it's soy-free. And we also want to avoid soy if we get migraines, because soy can be a trigger for a lot of people. So this is a great product for me. I'm working on an egg-free mayo recipe, but right now I just go ahead and buy that. And now I'm just putting in the Madras curry powder. So you know, the recipe on my blog is for a very large chicken breast, about 12 ounces of chicken breast. I'm not going to be making quite that much today, so putting in about a teaspoon of the medium curry powder. If you're not sure if you like curry powder, you know, start with a smaller amount because, you know, you can always add more later, but you can't really take it out, and it can be kind of strong. If you're also not sure if you like spicy, go ahead and buy a mild curry powder, which still has all this rich, delicious flavor from all the layers of spices, but doesn't have as much heat from peppers. So all I did was just simply mix those two things together. Like I said, this is a super easy recipe. You'll find it on my blog, recipierenovator.com. And so you want to mix these two things together first so that when you're adding the ingredients into the bowl, everything gets coated neatly with a premixed stuff. Now my celery is a little unhappy today, so it's got some blemishes on it. So I'm actually going to cut up 3 partial stalks. I like to slice it nice and thinly. I'm using a global Japanese knife, which is my favorite. It fits my hand really well. I love how sharp it also stays. And this is a technique I had to learn how to do in terms of cutting. This is the hand we call the claw. And then you hold that so you're keeping your fingertips out of the way. And I'm going to get those. So it can be a stalk of celery. It can be a couple stalks if you want more veggies in there. Other crispy vegetables that you could use would be jicama, water chestnuts, or even like a Persian cucumber would also be delicious in this. You want that watery crunch, and so celery is an excellent option. It does have more naturally occurring sodium, so if you're really strict on your sodium, you might want to use a jicama or something that's lower in sodium. So we've got that. Then we're going to do our apple. Now, generally, I would recommend maybe a green apple, but I'm also a big believer in using what we have in the fridge. And I love this core from Huxo. It's such a great little tool. Just pulls the core right out. So this is what we have in the fridge, which is just a regular, it's a Gala apple, which my husband Bob loves, who is working the camera today for us. He's my behind-the-scenes guy. And so if you guys have any questions, please do write them in. I'd love to hear from you. The whole point of this being live is that you can ask questions. So love to hear what you're thinking about, wanting to know about either the recipe or about migraines or anything else that comes to mind. So I'm just cutting this apple up kind of in a smallish dice. So I'm going to make a little pile. Not the neatest way to do it, but we have a visiting dog today, so that's Junebug who just walked by. and she's Buddy Girl's best friend. I'm sorry, Daisy's best friend. So, and she's having a little bit of water. So this is live. This is real. I'm surprised that we're not hearing more sound from outside because our neighborhood can be a little noisy at times, although we love it here in San Diego. And this is a great hot weather recipe. So I'm going to talk about the chicken in just a minute, but what I love about this is that you can have this for lunch or dinner, or breakfast even really, without cooking, without turning anything on. You don't have to toast the sunflower seeds, and that reminds me I need to check on these guys. Just about finished cutting this apple up. You want to get the apple in there as quickly as you can and get it covered with the mixture so that it doesn't start to go brown and oxidize. So I'm just going to give this a quick toss. And then I'm going to check on my sunflower seeds. So again, please feel free to ask me questions. And I'm going to check these. All right, so these are not quite brown yet, but they're getting a little bit toasted. So you want it, I've got it on just above low. You don't want it too hot because they can burn quickly, and then they'll be bitter. You don't want that for sure. Okay, and so let's take a look at our chicken. So normally, in regular time of the year, when it's not hot, I roast my own chickens. I buy the best quality chicken that we can afford. So I might not spend $20 on a chicken because that's a little out of our regular price range, but I will spend $12 to $15 at Whole Foods and get the Step 3 chicken. So there's this animal welfare rating scale. It goes from 0 to 5. If your chicken you're buying isn't labeled, it means it's a 0. That means that the animal is treated pretty poorly and might have hormones for speedy growth. Chickens aren't supposed to ever be given antibiotics, so it shouldn't have antibiotics. But, if you're eating an animal that wasn't treated properly, it's not really healthful for your body. So now we have a dog whining outside. I don't know if you can hear that, but I don't like being out of the action, but they also tend to want to be underfoot when I'm cooking chicken. I don't know about you guys if you have pets, but they always seem to come running as soon as you start making any kind of delicious smelling food in the kitchen. So what I tell people about meat is if you're going to eat meat or poultry, to buy the best quality that you can afford. It's going to be healthier for you. It's better for the environment, obviously better for the animals who had a better life, and that's what we want to be putting into our bodies. But if you are really thoughtful about how you're spending your food dollars, you can afford. I found that we can afford this because I've cut back on other things. I make sure that I don't waste any of the food. I use every bit of the animal that we buy. I make stock from it. So those kinds of things do help save money and allow you to eat a better quality animal. So I cleared out. That was my towel that I used to make sure that my cutting board doesn't slip. I diced up my chicken, and it was about a chicken breast from a smallish bird. So in the summer, when it's too hot to roast them myself, Whole Foods does sell just 2 chickens, and those chickens are Step 3. So that's a pretty good quality, and they also often make them without salt. So that's what I'm looking for, is a salt-free chicken. You can also pre-order them without salt, and then I just bring that home, and then we use that, and then I keep the entire carcass up in the freezer in what I call the bone bag, and I use that to make our delicious chicken stock. So when I'm not roasting them myself, I will go to Whole Foods. A regular grocery store rotisserie chicken is injected with tons of sodium. It's also not a high-quality bird, so it's not something I recommend for people, especially for people who get migraines, because it could have other stuff in there that isn't good for us. All right, so now my sunflower seeds are pretty nicely toasted. They're not over toasted. I'm just going to throw them in there. And so other options. I already talked about the other options for the celery. If you can use apples, you can use raisins or currants, which are not on the migraine relief plan, but are delicious. You could also use pear in season. Firm pear would be good in this, or seedless grapes. And so this is a sweeter, on the sweeter side salad because it's got the fruit in there and the crunchy veg. So what I like to do is serve it on a more of a spicy blend of lettuce. So this is a Trader Joe's organic spicy spinach blend. Arugula, baby arugula is also nice. And I do that because when the salad is a little bit on the sweet side, you want to do a slightly spicier lettuce for contrast. And also, we don't eat enough bitter vegetables in our culture. We're not in tune with eating bitter foods, and they're really good for us. They're so full of antioxidants and plant nutrients, phytochemicals. So it's a way to kind of ease our palates into those bitter tasting foods. So I'm just going to take a little taste here and tell you how it turned out. Again, this is, you saw I was able to do this in under 10 minutes. All right, I'm going to skip the greens. So I've got a nice textural crunch from the toasted sunflower seeds. A little bit of hit from the curry, which is delightful. A little bit of sweetness from the apple and the crunch from the celery. So it's just a perfect bite, especially for summer, especially on a hot day. So I invite you to come by recipierenovator.com.
Allison's getting hungry watching you.
Oh, yay! Well, thanks, Allison. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm actually kind of ready to dive in. I didn't have much breakfast today, so I might be eating this as soon as we turn the camera off, actually. So you can find me recipierenovator.com. There's over 325 healthy recipes like this, suitable for all kinds of special diet needs. My book, The Migraine Relief Plan, will be out in February, but you can pre-order it now on Amazon, and it has 75 migraine-friendly recipes. You'll find me on Twitter, SWeaverNPH, and you'll also find me on Instagram at Recipe Renovator. So I'd love to have you follow me, come by on Facebook, ask questions, tell me what you want me to make next time, and I'll look forward to seeing you again. Thanks so much for watching.